Today just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time we'll start to see that.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
We squeeze into the packed courtroom, shoulders brushing velvet ropes, the air thick with cologne whispers, and the metallic taste of dread. Cameras aren't allowed, so every rustle of paper and every cough feels amplified, echoing against the wood-paneled walls as if the room itself is desperate to eavesdrop. At the defense table sits Sean Diddy Combs, usually the picture of bulletproof swagger. But right now, he's tugging at his cufflinks like they're suddenly strangling him. The judge gives a sharp nod. The lights dim just enough to make our heartbeat trip, and the screen flickers to life. There it is, a grainy corridor. Kim Porter perched on a chair, shoulders drawn tight, eyes darting like she already knows something wicked is coming through that door.
You're not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward.
The gallery gasps before the first blow even lands. We watch Diddy stride into frame. No entourage needed, just combustion in designer leather. His hand swings, Kim flinches, and we swear we feel the impact across 20 feet and 3 layers of courtroom security. The hush breaks into scattered cries. Someone mutters, "Oh my goodness," and a reporter drops her pen. It clatters far too loud. On screen, Kim presses against the wall. Diddy leans in close, mouth inches from her ear. Even through decades-old CCTV fuzz, we can read the words, "You know I can make you disappear forever." The bailiff snaps to attention because the real-life Diddy has gone pale, eyes flashing. He knows this is the moment the myth shatters like a glass flute on marble.
Just with this Cassie thing, I didn't know her, but I knew somebody like her, and that was Kim Porter. I didn't know Cassie, but I knew somebody who was going through the same thing she was going through, and that was Kim Porter.
Over at the jury, their frozen knuckles white against the rail, forced to witness a private terror turned public evidence. Kim's fear is unmistakable. The furtive glance toward the unseen camera, the protective curl of her arms, the silent plea, we're not just watching an argument. We're staring at the breeding ground of something far darker. The footage ends. The lights rise, but no one exhales. Diddy rubs a thumb over his wrist. Rumor has it a scar hides there, a souvenir from another. Violent collision. But today, he can't tuck that reminder beneath diamonds. The silence is torn only by muffled sobs, an eerie soundtrack to the unraveling of an empire. We can practically hear the tremors spreading beyond these walls, scrolling across every phone in the city. If he could threaten Kim on tape, what else lurks in the shadows of their long, complicated history? Officially, she left this world in a haze of pneumonia. But suddenly, that diagnosis feels as thin as tissue paper. We remember that Kim was healthy, vibrant, writing late into the night, reportedly compiling a tell-all that promised to peel back the velvet drapes on bad boy royalty. So we ask ourselves, was pneumonia really the culprit? Or did that whispered promise disappear forever start counting down the clock?
You know, he get the trafficking because he took her to different states and had her perform acts with different, male and different people, sometimes against her will.
The assault video detonates like fireworks over old conspiracy theories we'd have filed away. Talk radio, gossip, blogs, and seasoned legal analysts are all dusting off the file marked Kim Porter flash drive mystery. Courtney Burgess, a 40-year confidant turned whistleblower, has already sworn under oath that Kim handed him multiple drives packed with footage from those infamous after-dark gatherings at Diddy's estates. He told the grand jury the files show 8 A-list celebrities caught in compromising scenes, 2 or 3 of them clearly not yet of legal age. Burgess didn't mince words outside court either, telling reporters, "I know you all call him Diddy or Puffy. I call him Lucifer." His testimony sends a ripple of nausea through Hollywood, where everyone suddenly wonders if their private missteps are tucked away on a little pink USB. But here's the kicker. Burgess says Kim's drives were swapped. The originals vanished, replaced by sanitized copies, missing the most explosive clips. We lean forward in our seats, picturing late-night SUVs with blacked-out windows, a hush-hush tech team rifling through Kim's belongings while she slept, copying, deleting, covering tracks. Who sent them? Who ordered the switch? Our minds race through a Rolodex of powerful names, with more to lose than Diddy himself. Attorney Ariel Mitchell hinted the same thing, telling the press, the tapes tell the story of what Diddy has done over the past 30 years. 30 years, that's generations of secrets. Enough leverage to keep an army of allies.
Bro, when y'all look at this thing and saying force, y'all think this that he probably threatened to beat her, threatened to do something like that. That ain't what force is. It could come from the mentality. Yo, he put her in a certain position, in a certain situation, in a certain time in her life.
According to whispers from those close to Kim, was enforced by more than just Indy. We've heard the phrases insider enforcers and shadow crew tossed around like urban legend, a loyal circle hired to anticipate any rogue move Kim might make. They allegedly tracked her calls, deployed covert cameras, even trailed her car under the guise of security. Former bodyguard Gene Deal once claimed Kim stabbed Diddy's wrist with a corkscrew in self-defense, leaving him rushing to St. Luke's Hospital. Proof, he says, that her life with the mogul was never just glitz and red carpets. We picture Kim in those final months, glancing over her shoulder during every Starbucks run, wondering if the friendly driver was secretly cataloging her conversations. If a smiling stylist was actually relaying intel back to the boss.
Do I think? Yeah. There's no, every man possibly is capable. I think he's very capable of doing it. It's in his character. That's who he is. That's what comes with power. That's what comes with arrogance. That's what comes with, what makes him, power. That's just the selfishness to make you be like that.
Every breadcrumb leads us to grimmer scenery. Al B. Sure, Kim's one-time partner and father of Quincy, posted cryptic pleas for an investigation, hinting her passing wasn't as simple as a bout of winter illness. He insists Kim sent crucial files to trusted friends for safekeeping and confided fears that they were closing in. One acquaintance even claims her devices, laptop, external drives, handwritten notes went missing from her bedroom the day she was discovered unresponsive. What burglar steals diaries instead of diamonds? What intruder ignores couture, but snatches digital evidence? The pattern feels less like robbery and more like a scrub down of inconvenient truths. Meanwhile, the tabloids orbiting this circus have ferreted out a curious timeline. Kim's unpublished memoir, briefly listed on a shopping site under the title Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, hit #1 overnight. Before vanishing in an avalanche of takedown notices within 48 hours, Diddy's legal team branded it fabricated. Yet insiders whispered that the real draft is locked in a safe, awaiting daylight. And if anything happens to the people protecting it, we can't help chewing on the possibility. Kim's words threatened a wider cabal, that the memoir mapped out a web stretching from studio boardrooms to Caribbean yacht parties, exposing everyone who partook in the freak-off soirees, now haunting court filings.
The person that really put their hands on women really is men who have feminine traits. So, it really takes a coward to put his hands on a woman. So, a man is so strong enough, we can just walk away. You can do, there's so many different things that you can do other than get upset, put your hands on a woman. But that comes from a man who's not quite a grown.
There's the chilling logistics of those gatherings. Witness statements describe sprawling mansions wired with hidden cameras. Guests allegedly handed color-coded glasses, gold rims for VIPs, silver rims for newcomers. Rumor has it the silver glasses were laced with performance enhancers, leaving attendees pliant while cell phones rested in a locked basket outside. The footage, of course, flowed straight to an encrypted server only Diddy's most trusted tech could access. That same tech, sources say, was on Kim watch duty, ensuring any suspicious file transfers were detected in real time. If Kim tried to smuggle backups onto a cloud drive, alarms would ping Diddy's phone before the upload hit 15%. Against this backdrop, we revisit the video played in court, Diddy's whisper, Kim's instinctive recoil, and it morphs from isolated, domestic dispute into ominous foreshadowing. We realize Kim was perhaps already maneuvering a chess endgame, trying to survive long enough to see her truths printed. She took photographs of flash drives, scribbled contact names and codes, arranged clandestine meetings with journalists under coffee shop aliases. We imagine her seated at a corner table, hoodie up, sliding a thumb drive across to a reporter who never showed, perhaps intercepted by those same enforcers. Did the team monitoring her anticipate every step? Or did she manage to slip one? Pawn 2 squares forward without detection.
So he put his hands on females, put his hands on producers. executives. That's just his. I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from. That people don't really understand. What is it? What is a bad boy? Why did he choose that name? Like he never really gave a clear definition of how he feels about that.
Courtney Burgess insists at least one original drive still exists, tucked away overseas, immune to subpoenas and break. If that drive surfaces, we're told, the scandal could widen into a tidal wave sweeping in Grammy winners, blockbuster actors, maybe even the politician rumored to have attended a single wild weekend in Miami. Just thinking about it makes us glance at our phones, half expecting a push notification that another household name is lawyering up. And let's not forget, Diddy's trial date looms in May next year. A spectacle promising more fireworks than a New Year's countdown in Times Square. Prosecutors are salivating over the possibility of introducing those party tapes as corroborating evidence, but only if the chain of custody checks out. That's why the swapped drives matter. If someone tampered, the footage could be tossed, and Diddy's defense will parade that doubt like a shiny shield.
A U.S. judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.